Hi, and welcome to another episode of Show and Tell. My name is Ashley, and if it's your first time watching my videos, this is a podcast about knitting, crochet, and sometimes a little bit of sewing or whatever else I'm making. Um, yeah, so if you are a first time viewer, thank you for watching my videos. If you are a returning viewer, thank you for being here and waiting for me very patiently because I've been gone for a while. This is my first video of the year. Yes, I know. But now and the last video was me telling you that I was pregnant, and now I'm 34 weeks pregnant, and I'm going to show you my baby belly. So you can see it has grown substantially. It is pretty big. And I'm having a little baby boy. His name is Emery. I will tell you the reasons why I haven't been here as much as I want to. One of them, I've been feeling super tired. Um, Super tired. Like, I can sit anywhere and just crash. The other one was I was making so many of the same things because I had orders, and it would be so boring to come to you every month with the same old thing. Like, why? Um, the other reason is I've been in a lot of doctor appointments, not because I'm sick or because my pregnancy has been going bad or anything. My baby has a heart condition. I've been keeping people on Instagram up to date on that. He has a heart condition. At first, I thought they told us we might have to go to another state to have my baby for special care, um, maybe surgery. Now they're a little bit more certain of his heart condition, and they are keeping us here. But because of this COVID-19 thing, I don't know if my husband can be in my labor or in delivery, let's say like that, my delivery of my baby. And it has me a little worried because I need some support. I'm a very emotional person, and I need him at least to be there in the room, you know. And he won't be able to come to these last appointments with me, so I will be going by myself because of this COVID-19 situation. Uh, but yeah, he's doing fine. He moves a lot. He doesn't let me sleep. He's a good baby. He's a very healthy baby. He doesn't let people see him when they do the ultrasounds. Uh, yeah, I'm very happy. It was a blessing. Uh, and I know he's gonna be super happy, super healthy, and everything else. Right now he's moving. Might be a little hungry. I am a little hungry, but let's record this podcast. So now you know. Hello, I'm back. Um, not not gonna guarantee you that next month there will be a video out because I haven't been crafting a lot. Just a warning, okay? But I will try my best to craft with the energy I have because I have some things that I need to finish before the baby's here. So, the first thing I finished, I'm thinking pregnancy brain. The first thing I finished was a baby blanket. Made with Bernat baby velvet and Lion Brand Velux yarn. So this is the baby blanket. It's a free pattern, free tutorial I found on YouTube. I just watched it once, and then it was very repetitive, so you keep going until you have the measurements you want. And the length, you can make it as long as you want as well. Here it is. It's pretty big, and I'm really proud of myself because I usually do not like to sew crochet baby blankets. I believe I use a 5mm hook with these yarns. I have the colors that I use, so I will be telling you the colors. A story about this yarn. So at first I made it too wide. It was too wide, not long. And baby blankets need to be short but long. And I had to rip out, and that was a tragedy because this yarn doesn't like to be ripped out. If you do so, you will have a bunch of fluff and you will end up with just string, no velvet. It happened more with the Lion brand one than with the Bernat one, but still it happened. And you can be as delicate as you want and it will still happen. Like, I was ripping it out very gently, trying. I still got plain old string on my thing. So then after I finished it, because I have dogs and it's for my baby, I wanted to be extra clean, so I washed it. Washing it in the washer, it was fine. Then I dried it, and then I got loops. You see that? I have bunches and bunches of loops. And I use a smaller hook than what the pattern required and what the yarn required. And I still got loops. So my recommendation is, if you're going to use this yarn, don't dry it in the dryer, because you will get loops, gaps. Look at that one. Look how big that one is. Oh my gosh. Yeah, you can see. I was like, maybe if I wash it again, will everything go back to its place? Like, fix itself. Some of it is like, I'm scared because this yarn, you move it and it starts loosening its fluff. So I'm like, whatever. The thing now is that with all these little loops, the baby's fingers don't get caught in them. That is what I'm worried about, because I destroyed it. Anyways, when he grows up, he's older, he's probably gonna pull all the loops anyways and gonna do a mess. But I do not recommend this yarn. I just want it to be soft and velvety. It is super soft and nice, but the yarn is a pain in the butt, and it's not worth it if you're gonna have so much work done and then have it be destroyed by a washer. So this is the white color. I use Snowy White. This is Bernat Baby Velvet. For the other color, I'll take it out of here. I use Bernat Baby Velvet in the color Misty Gray. Oh, and I was freaking out, and they already have it at Michael's again, so. And anyways, we can't go out, so whatever. And they have this yarn again at stores. So if I knew I was going to end up this late, I would have bought it. So this is Velvelux from Lion brand in a medium for worsted. They're all worsted, and the color is marigold. I know with the Bernat velvet, if you get the regular velvet, it's going to be a 5. So I did have, that I showed you, was the Bernat velvet, but it is a 5, so it's a bulky. It was too thick, so I had to go and buy the Lion brand one but the Lion Brand one sucks so much, much more than the Burnett one. Like, no. That's why I have 2 balls of this, because I didn't know if I was just gonna end with just string when I was ripping out, and I did. I did end up with a lot of string from that yarn. It peels so much. Like, that's why I'm scared to just try to fix the loops a little bit, because I can do it. I can try to like adjust it, but I'm scared that if I do so, I will end up with just bare pieces in my blanket and it will look even uglier. Am I making sense? I think so. The other thing I finished was these pot holders, because I have cast iron skillets and I needed some holders because the oven mitts really don't work. Like, you can feel the heat and you get burned. So I made these. I'm using some Lily Sugar and Cream and some Hobby Lobby I Love This Yarn Held Together. I don't know the colors, guys. It's just scraps that I have of cotton. So I have 2 of these sides because I have a large and a medium pan, and they have both the same handle size. Yes, that's the word I want to use. So I made them both the same size, and this one is for the teeny tiny one. It's kind of like that big, so I really don't use that one because what can I really cook there? If I cook just a single egg, um, they're not, how can I say this? They're not seasoned enough, especially that little one is not seasoned enough, and I've been taking good care, and they've been getting seasoning a lot. Because I need that extra iron, so I've been cooking on them a lot more. I got the pans at Home Depot. They were like a Christmas thing set, and they were like 20 bucks for 3 of them, so I was like, awesome price. And usually one pan the size of the big one is $20. So yeah, they're a little bit bumpier than your more expensive cast iron. That's why I've been seasoning them up more, because they are getting there, but because they have more texture, it's a little harder to season or to get, that smooth coating. Yeah, that's enough talk about pans, but yeah, I made these and they're really good. You can't feel the heat at all coming from the handle. I need to just weave in the tails and they're done. But for me, they are done even though they have tails. So, other thing I finished was these little mittens. I got this pattern from Joann's a long time ago, reindeer mittens. They're crocheted. Well, I can't tell you exactly what hook I used. Probably a 5mm hook. Because that's my favorite size of hook. 5 or 5.5. Maybe a 5 because I want a tighter weave. And it is done all in single crochets. There's a few patterns on Ravelry, so if you want to go find your own pot handle, there's a few patterns on Ravelry, but then those ones I made up myself, so I just measured the width of the thing, and then just crocheted on. Just made a little base and crocheted on, single crochet, double strand. It was simple. I was not feeling in the mood of reading anything, so yeah, I decided. But the other ones were like really fancy. I didn't need anything fancy. I just needed a simple thing. So talking about these mittens, I didn't do exactly reindeer mittens. I use them just to make regular mittens, and I use a 4.5mm crochet hook, I believe so, instead of a 4.25, because I don't have a 4.25mm crochet hook. They are done in they're using half double crochets and single crochets. I use some Hobby Lobby yarn that has alpaca, nylon, and acrylic, maybe some silk, I don't know. And then I use some yarn that I bought from China on eBay 8 years ago. It was supposed to be something for my daughter when she was a baby. It is cashmere and silk. So I use both of these yarns together to make it wash away because they are a DK weight yarn. And this one has a wider elastic here for the mitten because I did this one first and then I did this one, so my gauge is really off. The mitten is really tight. The elastic is really loose, or I added one extra row or something, but whatever. She probably is gonna lose them next winter, so uh, so the elastic is the one that's made with half double crochets, the back loop, and then the rest of the mitten is done with single crochets. And as you can see, it has a variegated, slow variegation of color transitioning. So I started with this one, and then I went from here to here. I changed. I'm really happy with them. This pattern is really good. If they put it up on Joann's again and we can go to stores, try to get it. It's free. It's good. It's easy to understand. So yeah, that's all I did. 2 little mittens. Did I show them correctly? Because I've been really like moving everything around. I made them just a little bit longer than the pattern suggested because my daughter has pretty long fingers and I wanted them to fit pretty nice. Other thing I finished was, guys, I have sinus problems. I don't have the virus, just in case. Was this. I finished a little barley hat using Karen Cupcake. I don't remember exactly the needle I used for this. I'm so bad. And you wanted me back. Are you sure? You wanted me to do this video? You sure? But I used the Karen Cupcake, and because the stripes of the Karen Cupcakes is really big, like really big, they need to shorten. I love that it's stripes, but they need to shorten the stripes just a little bit. Just a teeny weeny bit. So I striped it myself because all of this was already orange. That's how big a stripe is for a baby hat. And then on the top was being this green. And my husband said, "Oh, it looks like a little pumpkin." And I'm like, my baby is not being born in October, so I was already here, okay guys? And I had to rip it all out and start cutting the colors and making little balls, and then being like, okay, how many stripes did I leave of the orange? Okay, and now these ones need to be just the same amount except the crown. I think the crown has a little bit more, but it's okay. It goes back to the gray here. So this hat is slouchy. I use a DK weight yarn because the pattern for the barley hat is for a baby like 6 months old, and I want the baby to use it while he's a newborn. I still need to weave in all the ends because I striped it myself, so it looked just how I wanted it to look. Because that's who I am. I'm very picky. But this hat is free on Ravelry. It's so easy to make. It's super cute. Like, wouldn't you like a little hipster baby? Little tiny hipster baby wearing this. It's such adorables. Look at that. So I bought this yarn like 2 or 3 years ago, maybe, and I haven't used it at all. So now I used it. I made baby stuff from a baby. And I probably have the name in there somewhere, that little box, because that's the box of the cakes. I probably in there, but it is a Karen cupcake yarn. And if you see these colors on Michael's, if you can go, if you want to risk it, that's the one I use. I did, let me tell you, if you just want to do the same striping that I did, $11, right? 11 or 10. Let me see. No, it's 10 rows for each color, except the crown color is a little bit more. But I did 10 rows for each color, and you get this cute little striping, and it is the exact size that you want. This is just if you want to make a newborn size. Use a DK yarn. And then I believe I used the needle recommended in the yarn, not the pattern, to get a teeny tiny hat. But I'm so happy. It's so cute. I just love it. And then I followed a video from Yarn Utopia. She did a little baby bonnet. She used worsted weight again. And I replaced it and used DK yarn. I use Bernat Bernat Karen cupcake. I used some Karen cupcake. And I did the granny squares first. As you can see, this one was already transitioning to this gray color, but it was perfect. Perfect. No, sorry. This one started with a lighter blue. And then this one was the one that was already transitioning right here to the gray. And then I use the gray here, and it turns into a darker gray down here. But I think it looks so cute. Oh, the yarn gives it such a nice effect. What was I going to say? I don't know. You have to sew everything, so everything is done separately. The crown of the head and the back of the head is done separately, each granny square. So you're not actually crocheting into the granny square, you are whip stitching it together, and then afterwards you're doing the little ribbing here, and then a little crochet around the face just to tie it all together. But it's so adorable. And because I made it with a DK yarn and smaller hook, it is for a smaller baby. I think her baby is like 6 or 7 months old, so she made it for her baby. She did say you can measure this part right here, so you can have. I believe I made this the granny squares smaller. And then I measured the granny squares with this part right here, and when I had the length that I needed to like attach to the granny squares, I stopped. Because I don't have a baby with me, he's in here, I can't measure his head, so I try to like guesstimate it. But I did do less rows for the granny squares that she suggested. So that made it smaller as well. But it is a free tutorial, and she is pretty like she's a really good instructor. Like, you can understand everything she's teaching you. And then I made this wrap hat. It's like after you blow dryer and press your hair with a flat iron, you can just wrap your head and in this, and it will keep your hair straighter for longer. It has elastic here. It's made with 100% nylon thread, so it stays put. And that's it. That's all I did. It is done with a treble. Yeah, I think I used trebles to make it faster. Yes. And it's just mesh and triples or doubles, double crochets and chains, and that's it. This sinus pressure is killing me. That's what I did. The other thing I've been working on is, there was a video tutorial. It was in Spanish, so I don't think you guys are gonna understand it anyways, if you want to make one of those hats. But there is a lot of mesh hats out there that you can actually use and find. Excuse me. So the other thing that I've been working on is this Bernat Sweet Baby hoodie. I've made one before, long time ago. 2 or 3 years ago I made one. It was chocolate brown. It's still on Ravelry, with mustard and turquoise buttons. So I'm making the 12 month old size and the 6-month-old size. The paper won't stay there. So this is the 12-month-old size. I have the fronts, flaps here, and the back. It's not suggested to stripe it, but I striped it because I felt like it. That's what I wanted to do. And as you can see, it has the same color coordination as the blanket I showed you before. And I am using for this one all 100% wool yarns. So I am using Peyton's Classic Worsted Wool in the color Winter White. And then I'm using Brown Sheep Wool in the color White. Just interchanging them because I didn't know if I was going to have enough of this one that I already had in my stash, so I bought one of these. And then I'm using some Knit Picks Wool of the Andes in the color Turmeric, which is a worsted weight, but it's a little thinner. I have another ball of these. Need to get it soon. And then I'm using some more Peyton's Classic Worsted Wool in gray mix. I did go and buy this one because the grays I have here are too dark. They were not the grays I wanted to use. So I'm making the bigger size in 100% wool because by then the baby will have less sensitive skin. That is my thinking. Plus he will probably be wearing long sleeves, a hat, so his skin won't actually be touching the yarn. Yeah, that's my thinking. I don't know if you have other suggestions or if I'm wrong, just send me a message. I'm already halfway there, so there's nothing you can do about it. The other one is a 6-month-old size. I'm making this one with acrylic wool blends. I wanted to keep it woolly because it is a little hoodie and I wanted him to be warm. And this one, the other one was 2 rows for each color. This one is 4 rows of the lighter color and 2 rows of the contrasting colors. So I have the front flaps for the 6-month-old size and the back here. And I have one of the arms done. I need to make the other one. Have to motivate myself, really, I do. Because I want to finish this one because this one is going to be the one that I take him out of the hospital with. So I have to get my butt into gear and finish that. So I am using some Plymouth yarn Encore, which it is a 75% acrylic, 25% nylon. It is a worsted weight. The color is 687. It is a blue, but it's not completely a solid blue. It has yellow hints and reds in there as well. You can see one of the yellow little dots there. The other one is Lion Brand. I don't know where the other one went. But, this is Lion Brand Wool Ease. And as you can see, it's a heather as well. It's green, but it has some yellow in it, so it's not solid. These are all yarns I had in my stash. I had to buy some Wool Ease in the color Natural Heather, which is the lighter color. This one right here. I had to buy some more of that because I had it in my stash, but then I ran out because I already had used it plenty for another project. These Lion Brand yarns are 80% acrylic and 20% wool. They are worsted weight. I like them because they're not really scratchy, and they still have like that warmth of the wool. And I'm trying to use what I have in my stash. Plus now with the virus, you can't go anywhere. So let's use what we have in our stash and get crafty, you know, now that we're in our home most of the time. We should be most of our time home. Yeah, we can make this happen. I just need to sit down and like motivate myself to finish at least a 6-month-old, because I was in a gear like I was doing one part for this and then one part for that, and then my back started hurting and my arm started hurting, so I was like, okay, Ashley, take it easy, tone it down a notch because you're hurting yourself. I can't be as motivated as I want. The hook size, it's a 4mm hook. Let me see. Yeah, 4mm hook. I'm using a 4mm hook for both of them. And these are, it's all done with half double crochets. That's what I wanted to say. The other thing I made was the knitted boob hat. I found this pattern on Ravelry. Yeah, you can find the Your Inspiration ones at on Ravelry as well, and then it'll throw you to their website, or you can go directly to the Your Inspirations company website, and you'll find it there as well. So I made this little cute hat. It tells you to use a 4mm hook. I did that. I use 4mm hook needles. I use 4mm double pointed needles. My brain. 4mm double pointed needles. It tells you how many stitches to cast on. It doesn't tell you how long to make your hat, because this pattern entails that you have a baby already and you know how long to make a hat for a baby. I don't have a baby with me, and I think I made the right length for it, maybe a little shorter, but it's okay if his ears are popping out. I really don't care about that. And yeah, though his ears should be in a hat, though. Yeah, but it doesn't tell you how long to make it, just how many stitches to cast on, and then it gives you the decreased rows, and that's it. So if you let yourself guide yourself and start making the decreased rows, you're wrong. You're doing it wrong. I started doing that because it tells you round 1, but it doesn't tell you knit. After you cast on, knit until you have this length and then start doing the decrease rounds. It doesn't tell you that. So you have to do some figure it out. I'm telling you this, but if you are like me, my brain doesn't work like automatic. Oh yeah, it's logical. No, I don't get that right away. So for me, I started doing the decreased rows, and then I was like, why is this getting smaller? I think I am doing something wrong, and I had to rip out. Excuse me. And start again. I'm always sleepy now. Apologies, okay? But here is my little finished booby hat. As you can see, here's the nipple, the, I forget what you call it. But you know, you can see it's so cute. Oh. It might be bigger than a newborn's head, I think. I should have done a little bit more rows in length, I think, as well. But if it's too big, he can grow into it. And if it's too short, oh well. I can make another one. The thing is, because of all this situation, I needed something to be just a gag. Like, you know, just to breastfeed my baby and have a boob out. This world is a little bit too serious sometimes, especially when it comes to breastfeeding. People still have judgments about that. When we are mammals and we were women, were born to breastfeed their babies. And indigenous people still do that. Still feed their babies like that. That's how it started all in the beginning of time. And animals still do that. So for me, it's something dumb, but I wanted something to make me happy and cheery, and for everybody who was snooty at me and looked at me badly because I'm breastfeeding in public, I can do it and have a giggle at it, just so they can get even more annoyed at me because I'm breastfeeding and my baby has a booby hat on. But yeah, if I think it's rolling up too much, maybe I can, again, tell me if I'm wrong, I can grab on here in the edges of the hat and like even crochet a little row to lower it so it doesn't curl up, right? Can I do that? Is it possible to mix both of them? It might not be nice though, but I have really not done a hat that has a rolled brim, a rolled brim. So I'm really new at rolled brims, but it's so cute, like so giggly and fun. That's why I wanted it. It's so fun. It's fun to make, it's easy to make, and if you have a baby shower coming up, it's really fun to just give as a gift. And if you're into like sci-fi things, you can make a mermaid boob. I don't know. Make it sparkly. Make a unicorn boob. Make it rainbowy and glittery and sparkly, and just use your imagination, you know? Just make it your own. Have fun. That's what we need. We need to have fun and be creative and forget about people's judgments, because it's our life and nobody has to judge us for anything that we do. But yeah, those are the things I finished. I hope to see you next time. Wait, no, I have some sewing things. I always do this. I always say goodbye and then I'm like, no, wait, stay. I have something else. If you see marks on my hands, I've been wanting to address this, but marks on my arms and things like that. I don't self-harm. I burn myself with the oven rack all the time. Or I think this one was actually a pan. I put my hand next to the pan and burn it. I'm a wreck cooking, so I hurt myself cooking. I burn myself a lot. That's the thing I can say. So don't be like, oh my gosh, she's depressed. She hurts. No, I don't hurt myself on purpose, okay? I wish I didn't hurt myself at all when I was baking, but I do. Or cooking. Yeah, now you know. If you see weird marks on my wrist, it's not on purpose. Uh, I've been sewing little. I'm gonna try to talk low so you can hear me, but my little person doesn't hear me. So I made these little pants here. They're for Barbie. And I made this little skirt. I have all the fabric cut to make bunches of skirts. I put a little really thin elastic. It's almost like a thread elastic, but it's a little thicker than the thread elastic. And I put some fray check on the inside here, so when she puts it in and out, puts it on and off of the doll, it doesn't fray and lasts a little bit longer. Probably should lose them, but you know, the dolls have clothes. I think the other ones I made them just a little bit longer because that one is too booty short. That skirt is too short. But I was like, it's not a pattern. I made these. I made the little skirts just two rectangles. First, I try to like guesstimate it and use one of the skirts that the doll already had and all this stuff, and it did not go well. And then I was like, let's just make two rectangles sewn together and put elastic. It was perfect. But it needed just a little bit more length because um, it rides up to the like the hips of the Barbie. Uh, you you need it just a little bit longer. If not, her butt will show. It's a doll, I know, but you know, I like to be just a little bit more conservative when she dresses her dolls. Why am I making these skirts? I'm doing this for a gift I'm going to give her for Easter. I'm going to make her a little basket with Barbie clothes and Ken clothes because she needs, like, her Barbies are all naked because when she was little she liked to undress her Barbies and leave them naked, and now that she's older she likes to keep her Barbies dressed, but they don't really have a lot of clothes. So before this pandemic started, I went to Dollar Tree and they had, oh my god, so much Barbie clothes, but they were all shirts. So they were $1. Obviously, I grabbed all the different ones and just, you know, save them for a rainy day. I was like, this it's going to be an awesome Easter basket. And then I went to the toy aisle because the shirts were in the first aisle when you come in. And then when I went to the toy aisle, they had Ken clothes, and I was like, score for $1. It had like the Ken clothes has pants and everything, and there's like a chef clothes, and they even had like cooking supplies, and I bought those too because she has a house now. Her dolls have a house, they have a new car. Like her dolls have a better life than I do. And you know, she needed some cooking supplies as well, so I was like, yes, I'm getting all of this. There was one with a little dog or cat, but she already has a dog and a cat, so I was like, she doesn't need this. But the cooking supplies, the canned clothes, and the Barbie shirts were like score. So I'm just making the little skirts to match the shirts that I got her. And yeah, that's really all I have. And I made her those little leggings just in case she wants to put leggings on one of the dolls. You know, just for fun. But now probably she'll know I made them, the skirts. She'll want me to make more clothes, more skirts, more dresses for her dolls. So probably you'll see more of that in upcoming videos. But yeah, sorry that I have been gone, but I told you why. And I hope you guys are staying positive during these hard times. Um, Stay positive. Think about everything. Stay healthy. Try to boost up your immune system. Drinking all the vitamin C and drinking iron, all the veggies, all these things. And yeah, this is all I have. I hope to see you next time. And as always, remember to do what you love. Bye.